Hi, I'm Jay Cleveland, and I have Trump derangement syndrome. And apparently, as President Trump would say, I'm in bad company. Now, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, however you fit in the space-time continuum, in The Hague, Trump pivoted from the defense funding that he talked about at NATO summit, basically getting all the nation states, all of NATO to pay up their 5% that's supposed to do for the funding there. Spain's still sort of working on a payment deal, if you will, and went on a fierce media blitz to talk about himself, the 5%, and Iran. He accused CNN, NBC News, and the New York Times of undercutting U.S. military efforts in Iran by reporting intelligence that called into question the extent of damage to the Iran nuclear sites. One, they were leaked, so that is true, but he branded those outlets scum and demanded apologies for demeaning American service members who were a part of the attack. Now, CNN's Kaitlan Collins took this really to head as she confronted Trump on camera. She challenged his assertion that defending the reporting was a bad thing and noted that the media could both honor the military while still scrutinizing the official claims. Essentially not so much bad-mouthing the troops, but bad-mouthing the guy in front of the cameras doing all the talking, being him, Donald Trump, also Pete Hegseth, and, of course, Marco Rubio. Zuber said his aggression risked undermining public trust in institutions that rely on critical inquiry. Basically, the way he's beating down on the press is a bad thing. Oh, you want to see it? Well, here it is.
Oh, fake news CNN? Oh, yeah, here we go. Wait till you hear this question. You should really say how great our soldiers and our warriors are.
I think everyone appreciates our soldiers and our warriors. I do have two questions for you, Mr. President. You just cited Israeli intelligence on these attacks. Earlier, you said U.S. intelligence was inconclusive. Are you relying on Israeli intelligence for your assessment of the impact of the strikes?
No, this is also Iran made the statement. And it's also, if you read the document that was given that Pete can talk about if you'd like, the document said it could be very severe damage, but they didn't take that. They said it could be limited or it could be very severe. They really didn't know other than to say it could be limited or it could be very, very severe. And you didn't choose to put that because it was very early after. Since then, we've collected additional intelligence. We've also spoken to people who have seen the site, and the site is obliterated. And we think everything nuclear is down there. They didn't take it out.
Now, throughout his time in the Netherlands and before he bounced away after basically all these press conferences, European diplomats praised Trump for his forcing the NATO to raise defense budgets, basically all the countries to get their budgets up to where they should be. But many weren't easy about his media attacks. Nordic leaders and the UN have emphasized restraint and factual clarity, something Mr. Trump does not do very well. A mixed tone of the summit, unity on spending, but tensions elsewhere was notable by the Politico and the Hague host. So not everyone was a fan of the big words used by Donald Trump this week, but he's going to keep using them. Now, his bluntness may actually rally his base in projecting strength and protecting military credibility, especially in this moment where it may be a questionable just how much damage was done in Iran, as even the Israelis and our own military analysts are saying maybe not quite that much. And the aggressive language is risking damaging alliances with other folks, all the people who were there at NATO to hang out with, and getting away of press freedom norms. Although Trump doesn't really care about press freedom norms. He wants his story told the way it's told by him. He's discrediting independent media intelligence, basically anyone who's not saying what he wants to be said, and that is that. Now, the meeting concluded with the deal to boost defense spending by 5% of GDP to basically all the nations that were there. Like I said, Spain's having some issues going back and forth, but 2035 is the target for that one. This is something Trump pushed on his first day in office when he wasn't trying to break up NATO, getting everybody to actually pay up their fair share. Now, here's where things got dicey on NATO. Him on his way to NATO and on the way back would not quite affirm that NATO's Article 5, basically one for all, somebody attacks one guy, everyone else is in the fight, is something that Trump and the U.S. should do. And his media attacks as well, which is something he does anyway all the time. There may be fallout from these things when he gets back to the States. There may be fallout from the other nations in Europe and NATO who will say something after he's gone. But we'll see what's going forward with this one as I, myself, Jay Cleveland, deal with my own Trump derangement syndrome, and you may as well. Are you as deranged as I am, or are you kind of wondering what bug is up my butt? Let me know in the comments.